Hello, my name is Dan, you're watching Snax, and this is Curious Expedition, the game that kicked off this entire endeavor, as I find it insanely relaxing to play. And today I'm just gonna take you along on the journey, and we're gonna play as... This is always a hard choice, but I'd personally maybe go with Charles Darwin, although my personal favorite character to play is Richard Francis Burton or Nikola Tesla. Perhaps a good choice would be... And let's go with Charles Darwin. I haven't played as him yet except in the tutorial, so let's take an easy mode because, well, it's a relaxing video. It would serve us to play an easy version of the game. And so we set off. I will explain the game as we go. Early this morning we arrived at our expedition area. I knew this place held something special for us. Well, certainly. Let's begin this expedition. So what we have is Charles Darwin over here, whom has a task to find the sailor's wife and escort her back to London. We have Duff Macaulay, the Scottish soldier, Soha Sefna, the Persian translator. Don't know how much help will Farsi be in a jungle somewhere in South Africa, or rather South America, and Mr. Dutton, the donkey. I always suggest that one should have at least one herd animal, some kind of animal that can provide additional equipment slots, because at the start of the game the equipment is quite small. In any case, let's just speed run towards the village. As a group of skilled scouts, the wife has joined our trek. She is a shaman. That is pretty interesting. Let's see who else we can recruit in this village. Animal handler, scout, and another donkey called Mr. Paul. These people are superstitious, I see, but they are good at scouting. Well, this one is good at scouting, and this one is... Oh, increases inventory for pack animals. Alright, this is an animal handler after all. While we don't exactly need more defense dice because we have Darwin, increased capacity would be pretty great, and we can always just let the native come back to their village after the expedition. So let's recruit, and we might as well rest in this village as we have good standing with them. I told the team to unpack our things and prepare for the night. The natives shared their food with us, and we spent an enjoyable evening with them. Certainly this view of a village barely lit by the campfire contrasted with the cold really looks nice, like an impressionist painting. Definitely a relaxing sight, especially with the whole ambient sounds. In any case, we have gained sanity, which is our stamina, basically. Stamina is... sanity is stamina and health. We lose it as we travel, and the longer and harder travels also take more stamina. Like, for instance, going through the forest takes more stamina than going through a plain. There's also the fact that stamina is taken while we lose battles and given while we win battles. So losing toughness, which is health, is not really as important in a battle as it is to win it, because there are quite easy ways of healing up while sanity gain is only through resting and various commodities such as whiskey or chocolate or coca leaves. We can now promote one of our characters. I will promote Duff Macaulay. And we could probably get rid of Zivi's superstitions if you want to take him with us by talking to the shaman. Although that would definitely not be free. So first I would look at what tome pages he has. Tome pages are pages from the Necronomicon, which can be used to cast spells. We have Extended Vision, which is self-explanatory. Lake Creation, which creates a lake in the area where it's pointed, useful for evading pursuit. Hill Creation, which is also useful for the same thing, although a hill can be crossed. And Portal Traversal, which is very, very useful if we're looking for interesting things, let's just say. Let's give this... we're not deep in the jungle, so we do not need that many machetes, and we can give him also a bottle of whiskey and a torch. This will give us the tome page of Portal Traversal, which I will use later, let's just say. Now let's seek around. The goal in every stage is to find the golden pyramid, which the compass shows with some accuracy. It's not always accurate, of course. Let's see. We could try to explore this cave. We do have a torch. And there are remains of Persian explorers. Well, that's the one person where our Persian translator would have been useful. Well, I mean, she does have a diplomacy perk, which increases our rest sanity, and good reputation, which increases our standing. So, really, she is useful. I'm just joking around about her particular choice of language. But then again, I am an English to Polish translator, and I am predictably a jobless bum, so maybe I shouldn't be pointing fingers. In any case, standing is our reputation among the local villagers, and it can be lost by stealing and gained by helping them out or trading. And here we have a butterfly, which butterflies are a mechanic where Darwin of course gets sanity from them, but also if you collect enough of them, the fame that you gain from each butterfly is proportional to the amount of butterflies you have in your collection. So one butterfly is worthless, but many butterflies can cost a fortune. And I'm pretty sure this is where the pyramid is. But first, we're gonna rest overnight at this waterfall. We settled down and allowed ourselves to rest. The air was fresh and cool as we prepared the campfire. I laid awake and listening to the chaotic wildlife surrounding me. It had me wondering if there was a way to anticipate the kind of curses that awaited me when raiding the forsaken temples in these lands. Maybe if I paid special attention to each temple's aesthetic, I could gain more knowledge. And yes, the descriptions of the temples, which we haven't met yet, are hints to what happens when you steal from them. We might see one around here. Let's see what's here. an old camp. Arabian this time. And they have chocolate. Chocolate is it's not a good... It's not a very effective commodity per se, however it comes in large portions usually, and it can be dosed. Anyway, the shrine pendulum is shaking because we have found a shrine. And as we see in the description, it emits an eerie chill, which means it will... Oh wait, no, that's not the important, but this is. The sound of rushing water, which means the water will... There will be... the temple will fall into water and the entire place will be flooded. However, the altar contains 2 golden goblets and a golden bowl, which we want because they are incredibly expensive and also will give us fame. More on fame later. And so, as we grab the treasures, enormous fountains of water burst through the ground and began to flood the surrounding area. And so, as you can see, the entire place is being flooded, and somehow this place is not, in fact, the aforementioned Golden Pyramid. It's just a trader whom I'm gonna wake up with a very unfortunate swim. I'll move here just to see if anything is around here, but no, they're just hyenas and mountains. So let's just get to the Golden Pyramid first, and we may try to convince Zivi or Shivi maybe to stay with us. However, an animal handler is not exactly what I am looking for. Although, if I finish this trek, if I finish a trek with 3 natives, there is a character to unlock for it. Let's test our luck. If well, no need to dwell on it then. We failed to convince Zivi to stay with us, so they will stay in here as we go back to London. Well, it could have been useful to have them, it could have been detrimental. As long as it's not my fault, it doesn't really matter. This is my life philosophy. Since if you can't fix something, then going back to the past is only gonna make you overthink it. And so we are back at London with our first triumph, which means we get a special ability. Gun Expert lets us deal more damage with a gun, something which might be useful on Darwin since he has one. Charismatic, which lets us recruit up to 2 units per expedition, not something I've done. I think there was one occasion where I actually could have used this. And Good Reputation, which starts each expedition with a standing bonus. This is actually really useful, because it will stack with our translator. And as we can see, our randomly chosen opponents are Frederick Courtney Selous, Marie Curie, Mary Kingsley, and Aleister Crowley, the occultist. I see Marie Curie is winning, and as much as I would love to just watch it as a poll, I still have to try to win, hence why I will sell some of this stuff to an auction and give some to a museum for fame. So fame is my measure of success. The goal of the game is to finish all expeditions and then have enough, well, the most fame out of every other explorer. However, we have to sell off some expensive finds to the auction house, as this will give us very valuable funds. Oh jeez. Sorry for my misspeaks. My throat is rather dry at the moment and I've been trying to get it to stop being sore to record this. Now we can choose the Treacherous Arctic or the Curious Desert, and note from me, the Treacherous Arctic is a very dangerous place, not good for Expedition 2, so we're gonna go to the desert. We have escorted the native shaman to her husband, and we've gotten another 100 pounds. The next job is to obtain an idol from a village. But first we can recruit a member of the troop, more like the trek. A troop is a group of artists. So we have the Bedouin, Bahir Atiyah, which will help us in our current expedition, as he is a desert guide, you know, as expected from a Bedouin. Sharpurji Tarapore, a Parsi trader, who will help us haggle with the rather classical Arabic tradition of haggling, and James Sterling, named after hilariously Stephanie Sterling, the YouTuber. The diplomat also just lets one haggle, so these two characters are practically the same for the health. Sometimes you just have an objectively better choice. And in this situation, the objectively better choice is Bahir, because not only does he have defense die, which we don't have a lot, aside from Darwin's, he also has a lot of health and the desert guide trait, which will help us since we are heading to a desert. We could surely use a resourceful Bedouin and welcome Bahir Atiyah to our trek. We can now purchase equipment and do animal improvement, which is to say upgrade the saddle on Mr. Dutton so that he can carry more weight. All the updates are more expensive than the previous one. For instance, the next one will cost 100. However, instead of buying that, we will instead buy some equipment like whiskey, a rope, climbing gear. It is good to have at least one rope. Climbing gear is not necessary but useful in case you wanna increase your odds of successful climbing. Medkit is good. It's mandatory to have one, as I have learned, but it's always useful to have more than one. And at least one shovel in case of finding a treasure map. The shovels aren't exactly useful for much else. So one shovel is enough for any expedition. We don't need machetes as we are going to a desert. Machetes are used for cutting down trees. We will need water for traveling the desert, which we can get at the ship and also in oasis tiles or waterfall tiles. We have 3 bottles of whiskey and 7 chocolate rations, which should be pretty much enough for our trek. A campsite. A portable campsite looks useful, however, in the desert it would be wise to stay at places that are more closer to sources of water, like waterfalls and oases, so that we can fill our water skins. The snowshoes are useful in, of course, the Arctic. The empty canvas is useful if you have an artist, because then you can draw the sites that you see and sell them for a profit. Dynamite is not exactly useful, at least not right now, since we aren't exactly setting up for a big fight. So I think with this kind of equipment we can just buy a bunch of whiskey, some medkits, and leave 50 for the journey, in case some unexplainable phenomenon causes us to need to, you know, actually use the money during our expedition instead of bartering. And that would be the point where we set off for our next journey. However, this was just a short video and we are running close on 20 minutes, so I will just leave it here and continue this in the next one. So if you enjoyed it, please let me know down in the comments or with the like button, and I will simply go away till the next one. See ya.